Hello, 6th grade mathematicians. Here we are. We are in chapter 9. We are going to be learning all about area. So go ahead and get your book open to page 661, and we are going to get started on working on area of a parallelogram. So get myself situated here, and you are on page 661. There's going to be a lot of vocabulary, so we're going to go through each vocabulary word bit by bit so that we understand what each of them mean. Okay. It says a polygon is a closed figure formed by three or more straight lines. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with opposite sides and parallel opposite sides the same length. A rhombus is a parallelogram with four equal sides. Fill in the lines in the diagram with a polygon, a parallelogram, or a rhombus and draw an example of each. So we're going to go ahead and start with a polygon. So go ahead and write polygon up here. And let's reread it. It says it's a closed figure formed by three or more straight lines. So it might look something kind of like this. So not really equal sides, but just four sides that kind of connect and make a closed figure. A parallelogram, so we're going to go ahead and write parallelogram. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral, meaning it has four sides, with opposite sides parallel and opposite sides the same length. So we might have two long sides that are parallel, meaning they won't ever cross over and intersect, and it might not be perfect, and then two sides that are all the same length. So you see how this side and this side are the same length, and then this side and this side are the same length and parallel. Again, maybe not the best drawing, but close enough. And the last one, a rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram with four equal sides. So that might look something like this, where at least all the sides are semi-equal. Okay, now let's get into the bulk of the parallelogram. We are going to work on area. And area meaning if we were to carpet my classroom, we're talking about the area of the floor. If we were to paint the walls, we're talking about the area that we would have to paint with. Okay, so we are talking about the area of a parallelogram. Well, the good thing about working with area is that we have a formula that we have to follow. This is huge. Our formula is A equals B times H. Well, let's figure out what B and H stand for. Take a look down here. The area of a parallelogram is related to the area of a rectangle, as you discovered in the previous lab. We did not do that, so no big deal. But what we're looking at is the B in our area equals base times height. The B stands for base. Okay? The base is the bottom right here of the parallelogram. Okay? So then the H stands for the height. So the height is the perpendicular distance opposite from the base. So it is creating this 90-degree angle. You've got to look for this 90-degree angle. You can see it right there. That is a 90-degree angle. So make sure that you look for that when you see the height. So all we're going to do is we're taking the area equals our base times our height. That's it. So let's try to find the area of this parallelogram. So the base is 6 units, and you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 units. Now the height is from the perpendicular, so I'm counting each of these spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, you should be doing this with me. So now we know that area equals base times height. We know our base was 6 times our height, which is 8, so therefore our area equals 48, and we don't know the unit of measure, though we do know its units, and this is huge, friends, units squared. When we're talking about area, it is always units squared. Okay, over to the next page, moving right along. So take a look here. It says find the area of the parallelogram. So notice we have three numbers, okay? Our base is perpendicular. It is the bottom. It is perpendicular, meaning it is completely going the opposite direction of our height. So our base is 20. Now our height, how can we decipher between 13 and 11? Remember, we are looking for this 90-degree angle, so therefore it is going to be this. This right here, my friends, is a distractor. Cross it off. Okay, so we know that we're going to take 20 times 11, which is going to give us an area of 220 centimeters cubed, or centimeters squared, I'm sorry, centimeters squared. I'm going to move that down just a little bit. Okay, we're going to do this one together. So the first thing we're going to do, since we're finding the area of the parallelogram, so we're going to write A up here, oops, because that's the letter that we're working on, and it is area equals base times height. Write that down. And now we're going to substitute these variables. So we know that area is going to equal, let's figure out our base. These are units. We don't know what the measurement is, so they're units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know that the base is 6 times our height. So now we're going to do the height. Parallel, perpendicular. 1, 2, 3. And we know that it is 3 units. So area equals 6 times 3, which is 18. Do we know the units of measure? Nope, but we know it's going to be some unit of measure, centimeters, inches, miles, who knows, squared. Okay, this right here must be written out on every single problem. Okay, let's do B together. So we're doing the area of a parallelogram, so it's area times base times height. So area equals, let's take a look at our base. Oh, look at this. Our base is super tiny right there. It's 4 meters. So it's 4 times our height. Now take a look. I've got 2 numbers here. I need the one that is perpendicular to that 90-degree angle. So this is a distractor. Cross it out. We don't need that. Times 16. Okay, so A equals 4 times 16, which is 64, and we're talking about meters squared. Okay, so with every single one, you first put the formula, you substitute base and height, or whatever we might need to substitute, because we might need to substitute area, and then we have the answer down below. Now, finding the missing dimension. Here is why the formula is important, because sometimes you might be given the area, but missing the base, but you'll have the height. Sometimes you'll be giving the area and the height, but missing the base. So we have to work through the problems together. So what does that look like? It's going to look like this. We're going to do C together, so make sure you have room. So remember, we're finding the area equals base times height. We have to fill in what we know. So we know the area right here, because it says A equals 48. So what am I going to replace? I'm going to replace the A with 48. Okay, and then I have 6 is the base or the height. That's the height. So I am missing my base. Okay, so I've got base times 6. Okay, because I'm missing my base, but I have my height. So what does this look like? Well, it looks a lot like this. 48 equals 6b. Okay, well, if we're multiplying by b to get that base by itself, because we don't know the base, that's the missing dimension, we are going to divide both sides by 6. This leaves me with my b, which would be my base. 48 divided by 6 is 8. So I know that my base has to be 8, and I got to leave some room here. My base is 8 meters. I'm going to write that over there on C. Okay, so next, let's do this. A equals base times height. What are we given? We're given the area, so we're going to replace the A with 96. And then this, notice, this would be my base right here, and I am missing my base because it is perpendicular with my height. So I am missing my base, but I'm timesing my height, which is 8. So if I'm multiplying by 8, the inverse operation of multiplying by 8 to get that b by itself is dividing by 8. So I'm left with b. 96 divided by 8 is 12, and I'm going to use my units of measure, which is yards. So 12 yards. Okay, let's move over to the next page, and we're going to do some practice problems together. Again, not a lot of room to work, so you're going to want to just maybe work along the side. I'm going to work over here. So I'm going to do area equals base times height because we have to find the area of each parallelogram. So let's do the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So A equals, my base is 6, times my height, which is 1, 2. Okay, and when I do that, I get A equals 12 units squared. Well, that's kind of crazy. I wonder if that really is 12 units squared. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if I take this little piece right here and I move that over here, there's 11. And if I take this chunk and move it over here, that would be 12. Look at that. Coincidence? No, there's no coincidences in math. Okay, very good. Next one. Here we go. A equals base times height. So A equals, what's my base? 10 times my height, which is 5. A equals, it's going to put 15. Meant to multiply. 50 feet squared. So 50 feet squared. And the next one. A equals base times height. Make sure you have that down because you're going to be learning a whole bunch of formulas during this chapter. So A equals base times height. A equals, what's my base? It's got to be perpendicular to my height. And there's my height right here. This is a distractor. Times 7. A equals 77 meters squared. Next. It says find the height of a parallelogram if the base is 35 centimeters and its area is 700 centimeters. So A equals base times height. This is a missing dimensions. It's giving us the area and it's giving us the base. We have to find the height. So we're going to replace the area with 700. We know the base is 35 times the height. Well, if I'm timesing it by 35, the inverse operation of timesing by 35 is to divide by 35. Therefore, when I take 700 and divide by 35, look at Mrs. Horner did not have that in her book, but I will just do it here. 700 divided by 35 is 20. So therefore, the height is 20 centimeters. So my height is 20 centimeters. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there because it's really not too hard. Just remember the area of a parallelogram is area equals base times height. We're going to punch in those numbers. The other thing to remember, 6th graders, is when you are missing that dimension, you have to fill in each variable. So if we're given the area, we're going to fill in area. Equals, and if we're missing the base, we're going to leave it as B. We're leaving that variable alone. Do you see why we did a little bit of algebra before we actually did this? Because we are actually using algebra to solve area. Okay, you guys did awesome. Just make sure you follow up with whatever you are supposed to be doing next. Good job.